the sun. A nasty burn, now isn't that fun? Swim in the ocean, run on the beach, drown in the surf and blood like a leech. We have no time for merrymaking. Chop off a head for badness sake, sell for a limb, batter and bake. Nasty spells of bubonic.
Deep Blue Sea, a damn classic for me from 1999.
Before you get bum rushed at the Wild Wild West, when I roll into the Wild Wild West.
And ask any of my friends at that time, this was my #1 favorite film of all time. I could not shut up about it. How could I? I was in a serious shark phase at that age. What was I, somewhere between 10 to 12 years old? I definitely didn't see it in theaters in 1999, most likely on the then Sci-Fi Channel. Who the hell changed the name? Anyway, the violence for me was the most extreme I'd ever seen in a movie before. Dudes getting ripped in half on the regular, sharks busting down steel doors because they were smart enough to do it, some borderline action movie sequences, and Saffron Burrows, who probably kickstarted my weakness for British women. Either her or Elizabeth Hurley. Why not credit both? Yes, I'm thirsty. Leave me alone. This was certainly a horror movie tailor-made for me. And for a kid who stayed away from horror films due to an incredible penchant for nightmares, that's one hell of an accomplishment. At least until Underworld came along. I'm sorry, Saffron. Kate Beckinsale was in tight black leather. She triggered 3 kinds of fetishes before I even knew what was happening to me. I was a weak tea. I don't think I'm gonna disclose how old I was when I watched either movie. I'm sure so much of this opening is weird enough. What was I, somewhere between 10 to 12 years old? Fast forward to today, and it's gone down in history as not even just one of my favorite horror films of all time, but one of my favorite films of all time. I mean, yeah, you can point to such movies like Schindler's List, one of the greatest films of all time, if not the greatest film of all time. You can keep that. I'll watch Deep Blue Sea any day of the week. It's got everything. Big old sharks, charismatic and attractive people, great set pieces, brutal violence, and so much more. All of which I'll be covering in this very appropriately named Deep Dive. So let's get started. This is my deep dive into Deep Blue Sea. Alright, here's a classic horror opening. A bunch of horny young people and women in bikinis. I mean, can you really call yourself a horror movie if you don't have this stuff on screen? It's practically the law. And where there's hot ladies and chads, there's...
Did you feel something?
Yeah, I feel something.
On any other day, I would call these kids dumb for backing away and falling into the water, but let's really be honest here. This is a violent shark attack against this boat. And look how yellow those teeth are, man. And ladies and gentlemen, I give you the movie that introduced me to Thomas Jane, the future, one and only Punisher.
No, not vengeance. Punishment.
At least until John Bernthal. But this dude broke the tradition of R-rated horror flicks by actually saving the college kids from dying. You a killjoy.
You bastard.
Speaking of introductions, not only is the audience introduced to Dr. Susan McAllister, but my prepubescent ass was introduced to my most intense celebrity crush for years, Saffron Burrows.
What we're attempting to achieve here has never been done. We're this close to the reactivation of a human brain cell.
So here's the long and short. Sam Jackson invested a lot of money into research for curing Alzheimer's. But he wants to pull the plug on the project because stock market reasons. But through some serious guilt tripping...
Have you ever known anyone with Alzheimer's?
Damn girl, just get a sledgehammer and smash his balls. It's easier to deal with.
200,000 men and women develop Alzheimer's each year. What if you could end all that suffering with a single pill?
This has been a heavy-handed commercial. Give us money or Gram will die.
I'm sorry, Graham.
Give me till Monday morning, 48 hours. I'll give you results that'll skyrocket your stock price, or I'll help you pack the lab myself. It's your call.
So both Susan and Russell Franklin, played by Samuel L. Jackson, are headed to Aquatica, the facility where the shark from the beginning of the movie escaped from. But not before getting a wee bit of backstory on Sammy J.
I read that article on you. The thing in the Himalayas.
Alps. Things went bad.
But you saved all those people.
Not all.
Fast forward a little and we see the return of Carter checking out their new tiger shark.
She's beautiful. She wants to give you a big kiss.
I bet.
Okay, so question. Is that a real shark? Because that looks way too good for CGI in 1999.
We took the approach of like, let's recreate the shark. So we basically have tried to mimic the entire shark in one piece. Inside is much more akin to aerospace technology. And in Jaws, for instance, they had pieces of sharks. They had a head, they had a side. And here we are 20 years later, technology, everything's advanced incredibly.
I love how in 1999, over 20 years ago today, they're taking pride in how far along shark technology is compared to that of Jaws, which was 20 years later for them. But this is one example where I think DBS has aged beautifully. The advent of computers made us too complacent with digital recreations when look how good we were doing with animatronics. I won't act like I know how much an animatronic shark would cost to make in the 2020s, but it's there. Look how great they did with this thing.
There's nothing scarier than something that is real.
Susan introduces Russell to Dr. Janice Higgins, played by Jacqueline McKenzie, and...
Welcome to our island paradise.
Where's Tattoo? You know, short guy.
The plane, boss, the plane.
Right.
This kind of upsets me. Really? She don't even know it as a reference from when Speedy Gonzales did it?
Look, boss, the plane, the plane!
I am getting old.
No, Sam. She's just too young and has no life. Now we get our second-ish action scene with the sharks and Carter doing what he does better than Jason Statham. Shark wrestling! A few things I wanted to point out. Some of the chosen shots for the tiger shark are actually pretty good. Here it's... I can't believe I'm about to say this, but the animatronic is overacting. What is it biting at? I've seen enough footage of real sharks to pick up that they don't just bite at nothing. Right here you can kind of tell it's fake. There's just something about the way that it shifts left that makes it seem a little too mechanical. These couple of shots look great, and then... two things. Fake-ass CGI, and sharks don't growl. Why Hollywood takes this route, I'm sure I'll never know. This isn't a knock against the movie, but I'm going to take a wild guess that if a tiger shark has decided you're prey, you wouldn't be able to gently push it away and then ride it. Sharks are fast, man. That's like trying to gently nudge a car on the freeway. You're not living to tell the story.
It'd be like dancing with an automobile on a freeway.
But I do love how Susan just nonchalantly carries on with her day. Yep, Carter's wrestling a shark. Must be a Tuesday. Confidence. But who wouldn't be confident when it's a tiger shark versus the Punisher? Fishy fishy ain't got no chance.
No fishy food for me.
Carter and Russell get acquainted, and Carter actually goes out of his way to be polite and civil toward him.
They bite you. It's because they think you're a fat little seal. Or a rich suit.
Or passively aggressively letting him know what he really thinks of him. There's something so satisfying about telling off a rich and powerful dude.
Friendly place.
You got full sentences. Usually he just kind of nods.
He's a very scary man.
And now, a little foreshadowing for your viewing pleasure.
Beneath its glassy surface, a world of gliding monsters.
We're told of an oncoming storm, Bet that's not going to come into play later. And then we're introduced to our resident hysterical coward of the movie, Scoggins, played by Michael Rappaport.
Who are you going to trust? Me. That's who. You trust me. You know why? Because I'm trustworthy.
And another bit of foreshadowing.
Look, I already told the doc. I locked the pen like I do every other night. The fish got out some other way.
We get a quick no one cares exposition dump about Aquatica.
But almost everyone here is top of their game. Living below is like living in space. You don't get very many mistakes.
Hey, if you're younger than 13 years old, $20. You can't tell me what that is. An official introduction to Dr. Jim Whitlock, played by the legendary Stellan Skarsgård. Still haven't forgiven him for being in Mamma Mia. And he and Susan talk about the upcoming procedure.
You wait your whole life for a single moment. And then one day it's tomorrow.
Movie? You're about giant smart sharks eating a bunch of people. How dare you try to have philosophy? We have this exchange with Carter and Russell. No one cares.
How'd you make your money, man? You the first rich guy in history to squeak it clean?
And now we're introduced to the single greatest character of all time. Movies should have been about clouds and grass from this point on. Oscar Schindler has wet dreams about being this emotionally impactful. Writers should have packed it all in and called it a lifetime because no one was going to top this. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you this bird.
You got a big fat butt.
Voiced by Daphne Blake herself, Mary Kay Bergman. And some, sounds by Frank Welker. This bird is basically my spirit animal. I think I have a lot of those. He's just my personality when I'm at work. Oh, and yeah, LL Cool J is in this. Actually, he can be a scene stealer at times.
All right. Okay. This is a lesson about the drinking. Let's just say I've learned.
I love you, Chris O'Donnell, but let's face it, man. The real duo for NCIS Los Angeles should have been these two the entire time.
That butt.
That's right. You can all you want.
Let's jump ahead a little bit. We get a scene where the tiger shark dies.
Damn, nature, you scary.
Then we have a scene with Susan celebrating her birthday with the crew. I like these lines.
Like black men don't have enough ways to get killed without climbing up some stupid-ass mountain in the middle of God's nowhere. Need to leave that to the white folks, brother.
Sharks are the oldest creatures on the planet. From a time when the world was just flesh and teeth.
We also learned that the Aquatica crew increased the brain size of their Mako sharks using hormone enhancers to harvest more protein without genetic tampering, which is against the rules of the company. Nah, that's not coming back into play. That'd be... It's not. It's not coming back into play. It's not. It's not. Shut up. It's not. Shut your face hole. That hole in your face. Shut. The storm is on the approach, just as the team is about to start their trial on experimenting with the sharks, and it's up to the main man, Carter, to wrangle up one of them.
They recognize that gun.
Carter psychs out a shark. And somehow brings the shark to the platform that raises it to the lab. Hey, hold up. How did Carter get that shark there? Rennie. Yo, Rennie. I got a question. Rennie, don't ignore me, man. Wait, don't fade me out yet. The procedure begins and... Wait, do you care about it? Of course not. It's a success because of course it is.
Yes, science.
Congratulations.
You did it, pal. You did it.
Because of course things go wrong. Why wouldn't they? It's science. Should have taken the head though. At least would have solved one problem with Mamma Mia. I'm sorry, I'm still not over that. Mamma Mia is one of the worst musicals and rom-coms that I have ever seen in my life. Weirdly enough, I had more fun with the sequel. I might recommend that one because I really like Lily James. And she can sing. Imagine that. Anyway, murder shark movie. An SOS is sent out and a chopper picks up Jim. By the way, Valente Rodriguez is apparently one of these guys. Dude, which one are you? Anyway, more stuff goes wrong and Jim plummets into the ocean, where even more stuff goes wrong.
Please, tell me what that is.
Conflict in a movie. How trite. I love this shit even today. Ain't no way a single one of them outran the ocean. I'm calling bullshit on that. Also saying I don't give a shit because that shit was cool. Anyway, they all make it out alive and you know what I feel like doing? I feel like doing a Thomas Jane was hired to get hit by water and fall down counter. CGI bird! Why? Was it too hard to train the parrot to fly? Okay, LL. For real, that looked real.
The same shark, by the way, when I got barreled by the seawater.
3, 2, 1, go!
And that wasn't even the take they used? Dude, you were gypped. Yo, Rennie, you're a jerk. The crew thinks they hear a survivor banging on a door, but then...
Lab equipment may be banging around.
Think so?
That is the flimsiest steel door I have ever seen, yo. Like everything in this movie, I don't have time to care about the budget before it does something awesome. The crew makes it out alive, of course, and we check in with Preacher.
Please let me get out of here.
So I can make a subpar music video to an awesomely bad rap song.
Bleeding to death with no arms and short sleeves. My world's deep blue, killers gotta eat too. Looking for human flesh to rip my teeth through.
Okay, not that I should be thinking too hard about this, but I feel like if a Mako with a straight shot to its prey would have caught up with Cool J in a pinch. They're the fastest sharks and among the fastest fish, clocking in at over 40 miles per hour. Again, this ain't a doc against the movie. I just felt like belting out some interesting knowledge about sharks. Believe it or not, I'm not here to criticize real Mako shark metrics with super intelligent, genetically enhanced sci-fi sharks. Who has that time? The main group discovers that their only way out, the submarine, has been destroyed. And we go back to Preacher, who is reunited with Bird.
Come on, Bird. Come on.
Seriously, you named your parrot Bird? You know what, John Wick named that pit bull Dog, so who am I to complain?
Bring your feathery ass here.
No, you asshat! You bastards deserve to be endangered! I don't mean that. Mako sharks really are endangered, and I don't condone the poaching of any animal. Stop hunting sharks, damn it! Especially you, Japan. Get creative with your soups instead of using shark fins. Come on, guys. One of the most advanced cultures in our world, and you can't find a substitute for sharks? Leave them alone. We check back in with the main crew, and tension begins to boil.
We put these on. They help fight hypothermia. And unless someone's got a better idea, we're going to have to swim out of here.
I don't know, man. Hyperthermia doesn't sound so bad compared to being eaten by a shark. And we check back in with Preacher and his shark problem.
You can't get me, little fishy. Not in here.
Anyway, he ain't safe for long.
Is it happening?
1,000,000% curious how that oven turned on, but this setup is so ingenious.
So I appreciate the iron glowing. Cooked us in his own oven. I got other plans.
And, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you one of the most satisfying creature death scenes in history.
You ate my bird.
Back with the main crew, Russell thinks that they can successfully swim back to the surface, but Scoggins has a different opinion.
The average human swims 2 feet per second. The average shark swims 50 feet per second.
Mako shark. Average Mako shark. Please tell me you meant Mako shark, because not every shark is created equal. Alright, to speed this up, Scoggins shows a maintenance ladder that leads to the surface. But if they open it, the pressure will be released and the wet pool in the room they're in now will shoot the ocean into it.
You'll bring the whole facility down. We're better off taking our chances with the sharks.
Hey, you want to go swim with your little fishes, miss? You go right ahead.
Honestly, I have no idea why Susan is concerned about the facility when she comments that the action will bring it down. It's Russell's money, not hers. Why does she care? Also, it's her life versus the structural integrity of this facility. Again, why do you care, woman? Look, I said this is one of my favorite movies. I never accused it of having good writing. This is actually a fairly appropriate time to mention that Susan's character is mostly done dirty. Backtracking a bit, why does she release the shark when Carter is about to kill it? If it's supposed to be a sort of I created it so I see it as my child kind of dynamic, then that's weak sauce because there's no scene to indicate that's how she feels about the sharks. I guess if it's that, I have no idea what the word is, but whatever the mindset is about a unique animal being killed off being a bad thing, even then, it's like, this thing really screwed up one of your own scientists. Something's gotta give, girl. But fine, Russell scolds the group like a father.
Enough! That's enough now from all of you.
I adore Mackenzie's posture here. She really does look like a scolded child. I guess that wouldn't be a surprising action if Jackson was the one doing the deed. Anyway, epic speech.
When the avalanche came, 7 of us survived the slide, and only 5 made it out. Swore that we said was the snow that killed the other 2. Nature can be lethal, but it doesn't hold a candle to man.
I'm very curious as to what exactly happened. I know this is about tone and stuff, but I feel like a whole other movie was needed to explain what man did that was so lethal. Ooh, was it a Donner Party situation? Details, man!
We're going to pull together, and we're going to find a way to get out of here. We're going to seal off this...
You just ate him. You just ate him, Christ.
The balls on this movie, man. The first important character they kill isn't just any old black guy, it's Samuel L. Jackson. The one character you imagine would be the hero of the story is axed off first. But that's what's brilliant about the rest of the movie. Jackson, even in 1999, was a big name in Hollywood. Everyone else, not so much, at least at the time. Thomas Jane wouldn't make his mark until 2003. LL Cool J, sure, was a big name in music, but compared to the likes of Jackson, he was the one that was primed to be first to die. Instead, he makes the first killing blow. As for everyone else, they're no names. The best thing a horror film can do is not have the audience immediately know who's going to survive and who won't. It dilutes the tension and shock value. But DBS was great in that as soon as you off Jackson, you know that nobody is safe.
You're all going to die down here.
They opt for the maintenance ladder because of course they do, and shit goes down.
The elevator's blocking the top, but if we make it to level 1, we can take the stairs out.
What's keeping those flames going? Yo, someone help a brown dude out. How is this possible? Or is it just a cool visual? You know what? I'm okay with not knowing. Never mind. The shark comes back for seconds and starts breaking down yet another steel door. Bullshit, it's like working in space. Apparently, underwater, you can hear sharks roar and steel doors being bashed. Bullshit! Carter has the good idea of opening up another door on another level to buy them more time. And I love this line from Scoggins.
Big. Real big.
What's that?
The size of your brass ball.
Carter taps into that Punisher strength and kind of accomplishes what he wanted to do. But of course, the universe demands balance, and for everything that goes right, something has to go wrong.
Sharks probably flooded that level too.
Not that I wouldn't be utterly happy to see LL Cool J at a time like this, but why would opening that hatch sound like he's banging on it? Despite the relief, they have to come up with a new plan to reach the surface.
If we could reroute the emergency generators, we could drain one whole stairway. You sure? Who are you gonna trust?
They get a reprieve to gear up, and Carter and Scoggins decide to execute their plan to drain a stairwell.
We got one. There's 2 sharks left. And there's you in the dock doing a little bathroom love.
They got a pill for what's wrong with these guys?
As Susan goes back to her quarters to salvage what's left of her research, Carter and Scoggins arrive at their destination.
Stay here. Be back before you know it.
Stay? Why? What was the point in bringing them if you didn't need them? Oh no. Basically, they do a 360 and go back to the lab where all their problems started. And Carter finds Jim. Hey, whoa, where did Scoggins come from? Even he doesn't seem to know what the hell's going on.
Right together.
Right together.
Okay. Straightening out my critics cap, this movie has a weird fetish for cutting away to a different scene at the most inappropriate times. As soon as we're gearing up for something interesting, we cut away to something else for some reason. Don't get me wrong, Cool J delivers a heartfelt and even humorous performance.
So what do I have to say to you?
We will begin with the perfect omelet, which is made with 2 eggs, not 3.
But why is this scene here? Important survival shit is going down. Why do we need this surprisingly tender moment out of Preacher?
And if this message finds you, then I did not survive, so this is my legacy. I did my best to be a good husband, a father.
Carter and Scoggins get to work on helping their situation, and it all works out. Until it doesn't. The scene that sparked a month-long string of nightmares for 11-year-old me. The brutality, the blood, the... Oh dear sweet Jesus, his leg is still twitching!
You've been around a lot of corpses. Is that normal?
Well, the feet thing?
Yeah, the feet thing.
Yeah, that happens.
To offset the disturbing violence, here's a cute and friendly nurse shark. Carter makes his escape. Of course, the shark casually misses him as it attacks. And is eventually saved by Preacher again.
Damn it, Scott.
Where's Susan?
Susan gets to her flooded room and... How convenient that her research data is already wrapped in plastic. We get a classic fake out.
Made you look.
And then we get something that's faux shizzle.
I gotta get out of here!
Oh hell, I have to pause the movie here. This is the part where I have to tell everyone to watch this movie of your own volition, because I can't show this scene here. The point is, she kills the shark by electrocuting it because she's a boss-ass bitch. She survives, the research data does not. But quick question for those that would know. Would standing on the wetsuit actually help her? See the scene on YouTube, it's not that hard to find. I'm really curious about this.
Let's start this. Look, I hate to interrupt this moment of burgeoning intimacy, but can we get the fuck out of here?
Dude, they're mourning Scoggins. Relax. They reach their exit that will lead to the surface, and we get some hilarious honesty out of everyone.
I gotta let the room fill up with water. You ready?
Nah. Not in the least.
After the most epic sermon from Preacher,
Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, because I carry a big stick, and I'm the meanest motherfucker in the valley.
the crew makes their escape.
Sharks are attracted. Churning water, bright colors. These extinguishers should be a distraction.
Nah, they're taking their sweet ass time swimming up. I don't think a single one of them would have made that trip. And as critical as I am, I don't think I would have made it either. I mean, provided it takes a minute and 30 seconds to swim 60 feet underwater, which I'm calling it, is not possible. Why am I thinking about this? Why do I care?
It's a fucking movie.
And like any movie, everyone makes it to the surface just fine. Oh, spoke too soon. There's a Christian Bethany Hamilton joke to be made here. I just can't think of it.
Son of a bitch.
What?
Those fences are titanium underneath, but on top they're just plain steel.
Someone elaborate here. Fences are made with two different types of metal? Like, literally, the top half is steel and the bottom half is titanium? Is that a thing? Or is this just nonsensical technobabble movie bullshit?
That's the answer to the riddle, because that's what an 8,000-pound Mako thinks about.
So here's the riddle. What does an 8,000-pound Mako shark with a brain the size of a flathead V8 engine and no natural predators think about?
About freedom. About the deep blue sea.
He said it! He said it!
We have to kill her.
That's the first real smart thing you said all day. Here we go.
Okay, so a big thing that I've been neglecting so far is this score. Dude, Trevor Rabin is a childhood legend and quite possibly influenced my love for movie scores. Actually, that's no joke. This is where that appreciation came from for me. Sure, I've seen movies with iconic scores before, like Jaws, Jurassic Park, and Star Wars, but those were just themes. They set the tone for the movie I was about to watch, but it's everything in the middle that I always neglected and couldn't appreciate. DBS, specifically Rabin, taught me to pay attention to really good scores. Better compositions may exist out there, but this was the movie that showed me what to look for. Or, showed me what I would ultimately like in a score. Trevor, as far as I'm concerned, you're a living legend, my dude.
In this film, the more ominous or threatening instrument is actually kind of a calm, piano kind of sound.
Carter's plan is to load a spear with a ton of dynamite? Am I understanding that right? The plan is to hit the shark with said spear, and Susan is to detonate it by hooking the line up to a battery.
And boom.
I feel like that's not a bad plan, actually. But Carter says the shark is too far away, but Susan has her own idea.
I know how to get her!
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Okay, dumb move. I feel like this could have been avoided. Just drop that blood in the water maybe? Or, you know, instead of loitering in the water like she does, maybe swim immediately to some sort of platform? I know the shark has a penchant for jumping.
We're gonna seal off this.
But it's a better chance than, say, actually being in the water. But hey, when you make a dumb move, you get an obvious answer. There's actually an alternate ending, but I have no idea why it has never been found online. As the alternate ending goes, Carter jumps into the ocean and actually saves Susan in this moment, and does his shark wrestling thing.
Hold me
The rest pretty much plays out like it does, with Susan spearing the shark and killing it. Carter and Susan make out, Preacher interrupts the session, and happy ending. Apparently, early screen testings booed the ending, and they reshot it to what we actually see now. I've seen videos on the internet actually defending the alternate ending, but I don't know. I think I have my own argument, but I'll save it for the end. We're pretty much there anyway. Carter rides the shark. Preacher shoots it, blows it up.
Yeah! Bring me some sushi!
And that's pretty much it.
Let me tell you, man. I quit this job.
Okay, so here's my argument about the alternate ending. What I took away from this movie is, if you're at fault, you should be punished. Every single character who dies in this movie dies for a reason. The early deaths like Brenda, the rescue pilots, they were collateral. Innocents in a situation created by those truly to blame. Take Russell. He was the guy who financed this entire endeavor. The guy who sank so much money into this Cure Alzheimer's project was oblivious to what Susan and Jim were doing. Corporate incompetence. As the primary benefactor, he is the catalyst for so many deaths. He deserved it.
I just know that 7 of us survived the slide, and only 5 made it out.
Jim deserved it because, like Susan, they went behind Russell's back to violate the Harvard Compact to genetically engineer the sharks in the first place. His fate was deserved.
I'll be damned.
No, sir. For 6.560 seconds, you saw what it's like not to be down.
Janice deserved her fate because she was close to Jim. There's no in-movie evidence to support this, I fully admit that, but it's likely that she was willfully ignorant of Jim's actions and could have been instrumental in curbing the events that ultimately play out.
When was his birthday? Huh? What did he like on his pizza?
Scoggins deserved his fate because he was negligent of the shark pens. Remember, he locked them up like he did every night and the fish got out some other way. It's entirely possible this is just bad writing, it would certainly check out in this movie, but it makes a thematic kind of sense. That Gen 1 shark almost killed innocent people. Imagine if that Gen 2 shark got out. Bigger, meaner, it would have caused incalculable damage and probably would have killed countless people. Scoggins' inability to pinpoint their own facility's weaknesses is probably what led to their downfall in the end. Very similar to Jan.
Look, man, he hadn't left the pen open last night. I could have got a good night's sleep.
Look, I already told the doc. I locked the pen like I do every other night. The fish got out some other way.
Susan died because, well, all of this was her fault. That's not to say that her actions weren't lamented, but like John Hammond and so many others with the best of intentions, their actions are the direct root cause of people dying. She broke the rules. She violated the natural order. Even though she knew the error of her ways and even seemed to be willing to correct those decisions, you know she wouldn't have done anything different. While I ultimately like Susan as a character, her fate was sealed.
Without that data, everyone dying isn't just tragic. It's useless.
Death is always useless, Doctor.
Carter survived because he was a pawn in the larger game. He tried to do the right thing at every turn and even had his heroic moments. He was a problematic man once, but now he just wants to put that behind him.
And what you've done is taken God's oldest killing machine and given it will and desire. What you've done is knock us all the way to the bottom of the goddamn food chain.
Preacher survived because he was just the cook. Clearly, he has a past that he wants to learn from, and he deserves to learn from it.
We will begin with the perfect omelet, which is made with 2 eggs, not 3. Amateurs often add milk for density. This is a mistake.
As for the alternate ending, I don't think I would have booed it. The ending is Carter and Susan making out. Dude, she's responsible for so many deaths. Even if you didn't hate her anymore and believed she found redemption, that cliched kiss would have bugged me forever. The theatrical ending doesn't bother me at all. Though if I had a say in the matter, I would say there is a perfect alternate ending. Don't have Carter and Susan kiss because that's just cringe, and instead make sure that Carter and Preacher keep her honest and have her turn herself in and take responsibility for what happened. Have the data not be destroyed and let the deaths of so many mean something. In my opinion, I think that would have been the best possible ending. I feel like as the years have gone by, this movie has only gotten more relevant and satisfying. As a kid, all I saw was a cool shark movie and the cool heroes got out alive. As an anti-corporate adult, all I see is a corporation getting destroyed from the inside out. Everyone who deserves to get out alive does so, though not without scars, but all the better for it, and everyone who deserves to die does so. So I'm a happy Peruvian boy. The sequels are garbage. Well, the second one is. The third one has redeeming qualities, but nothing tops this one. Jaws was the best shark movie ever made. Then came DBS, and the only shark movie that would come out since that would even get remotely close to this would be The Shallows. My opinion, of course, but between these projects, everything has ranged from being campy fun to campy bad. What makes DBS so great in my eyes is that even though it's a B movie, it's got all the right elements that just somehow work. Awesome action, a great score, and weirdly committed performances that really sell it. This was a movie that should have been far worse than it ended up being. Listen to me talk about it like it's one of the best movies ever made. Obviously, it's not. But it's my favorite shark movie of all time. Make me choose between this or Jaws, I'm gonna choose this every single time. I love it that much. My honest rating for Deep Blue Sea, a 5 out of 5.
So we're not going to fight anymore. We're going to pull together and we're going to find a way to get out of here.
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Happy October. Stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon.
Something rancid in the bowl, and we'll take your restless soul. Something breathing in the hole. Heed the man behind the window. Follow the path this sleepless night.